Hello. So I do have a more planned outline for the next audio that I want to record. But I did feel like there was something in between that wanted to come through that I really didn't plan for. And I just attempted to record. And I kind of was not able to pinpoint. There's just almost too much coming in at once. And then all of a sudden it went silent. And then I made this really funny noise, Rah. So I just decided I'm just going to put the phone down and see if something else wants to come through. A truck just drove by me more clearly. And immediately in my head, I heard a song that I have not heard in a long time, Heartbreaker. And I couldn't remember who sang it at first, but it's Mariah Carey. And I think Jay-Z is featured in some of the remix or something. Anyway. And then I heard a string of heartbreaks. And then I heard the song Achy Breaky Heart. I just kept hearing all these songs about heartbreak. And of course, as I turned the corner, I just saw this bright green light and it just turned blue. Oh, interesting. And now it's turning purple. It's a tiny little light in someone's grass. Interesting. So green, blue, purple. So it feels like there's... It's funny, I said a string of heartbreaks, and now I'm hearing a stream. So it feels like there's a stream of heartbreak that has been coming up for someone, and it may be, it'll be different for anyone. Perhaps it will be different for each one of you, but different in terms of where you are in the process of the string of heartbreaks. Of course, it can be romantic, as well as something that started to root in childhood, or if you're someone who likes to look into the multidimensionality of it, it can be also a theme that's been spanned across incarnations or lifetimes, different themes that are coming up. So yeah, I did not plan on talking about that at all. But that's what I heard, so let's go with that. There was also, I feel like there's going to be a few different themes that are going to come through, and then usually what will happen is they kind of weave together in some way. So I'll just trust that process. So yeah, maybe there's someone here who's learning how to trust their own process more. Whether, that could be in any area of life, really. But I'm hearing specifically their own creative process. And I felt almost just it was almost hard to breathe. I was having a hard time breathing for a moment. So you may find, if you're having a hard time, catching your breath or quieting your mind. I know that there's been, what I feel the last few weeks especially, a harder time quieting the mind, even if you're someone, I'm hearing especially if you're someone who has a pretty good cultivated practice of balancing out your mental chatter. It might feel tough the last few weeks, and I think that's okay. I'm hearing by design, and that's funny because a lot of music is coming through. A song that came through today as well. I kept singing it in my head, and I haven't heard the song in a very long time as well. Lupe Fiasco, I believe is his name, Superstar. And I was guided to look up the lyrics. Oh, funny, I just saw 212. Oh, and I've been seeing New York. I believe 212 is a New York area code. So much symbology around New York, in the weirdest ways. New York has come up umpteen million times. I'm being extremely dramatic, but it's come up a lot in this past week. So there could be something about New York. I don't know what yet, but there was this one line in the lyrics that really stood out to me. in the song Superstar from, I think I said Lupe Fiasco. I'm saying that wrong, my apologies. Did you improve on the design? Did you do something new? I don't know why, but that line really stood out to me. So, interestingly enough, human design has been coming up also a lot lately, and I have studied a lot of different divination tools, and human design I'm very, very surface. Like, I have not I could not give a human design reading, but I know a little bit of like the context. And today I saw 5-3 on a bank, I think it was, and I heard in my head like triple 5-3 split, triple split. And years ago my friend gave me a reading, and I believe that was in my human design. And so sometimes when these specificities come through, I also saw gate 23 and gate 29. So you can, if you feel called, if you are someone who is very into human design, or at least a little bit, feel free to share. And or even if you're not and you feel called to just look into those things. I'm hearing it's not even that you may have it in your own human design. There's like a collective energy coming through about whatever it is that just came through, the triple split, 5-3 split, and gates 23 and 29. So yeah, if anyone wants to share in the comments anything you find on any of that, that would be cool. But I do know that the triple split, I think it's 5-3 split, I could be making this up, but I'm pretty sure, is a more rarity. And then with the idea of that song, Superstar, new design, that line, I've been talking a lot, or at least like when I'm tuning in with the, people call it like the grand design, your original crystalline blueprint. So it does feel like those string of heartbreaks that I was seeing. I don't know, I'm seeing almost like a little girl, maybe around the age like 5, just like sitting and looking out the window and like waiting for something. And it doesn't have to be, you could be a boy or a girl or any gender or non-gender. I think it's more just representing like a feminine aspect with a masculine parental figure. So, yeah, so there could have been something when you were a child that like felt like you were always waiting for someone or something, and that actually may, like that string, that root, that could be like one of the roots that you may feel to this current day, or something that you have been consciously like working through or breaking through. And I like to say, even if you again, each of you will be somewhere different, but let's say you just started this and you're like, oh, I feel so overwhelmed, or like you feel like you have so much to do. I'm just hearing like these messages that come through will be like kind of like your potentiality. So like not to feel like you need to rush or give up or get overwhelmed. That may happen, it's just part of it, but just to come back to the breath and remember the grand design and divine time aspects for each one of us. Like we all, it feels like we all have this unique blueprint. And I love divination tools like astrology or human design, tarot, oracle, etc., because it really, for me, helps to like get snapshots, if you will, of our own unique blueprint or energy design, and that helps us to navigate the physical world in such a way that leads us to know thyself better, like that phrase, to know thyself. It doesn't always have to be through those things, but if you're drawn to listen to this, I imagine that there may be some interest in more of the mystical arts, if you will. Okay, so let's see. Time has been coming up a lot lately, so yeah, now I'm hearing father time. So Saturn So if you're someone who's into astrology or interested, you can look at your Saturn transit and your Saturn natal position in your birth chart. I heard sidereal, actually, so maybe you're just getting into sidereal, or maybe you already are very into sidereal astrology. There's something about sidereal, Saturn transit, and natal placement that could be of significance. And Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, so there could be a connection there. Mountain goat, which is the glyph for, not the glyph, you know what I mean, the represents Capricorn. Yeah, so it also rules the 10th house, which is all about like I think it's like being seen, work, that type of thing. So there could be something. Oh, interesting. Did you hear someone just turned their car on, like the ignition? So yeah, there could be I heard clearly like something about to pay off in like something that you've put in time, that you've put like time and discipline and energy. And if you haven't yet, you could be called to start to do that. And when I say time, discipline, energy, I don't necessarily mean in a way it will be different for everyone. You know, I think everyone has a different philosophy on how they utilize their time. You know, I'm hearing like work smarter, not harder. So I don't mean you have to be like backbreaking and so disciplined that you never enjoy yourself. Not at all. Just, you know, applying focus into something that feels connected. I just hear like a bird chirping, you know, to your, I heard heart's desire. So, okay, let's see what else. Okay, a lot of astrology is coming up as well. Checking your Venus placements, Venus and rising. Oh, this is interesting. So I watched actually a video, if you want like a deeper dive on that, what I'm about to explain. She's changed her name many times, and she's, I think, currently going by the name Anita Serene. She's also known as like Star Girl, the Practical Witch. She has like a big following on YouTube. Anyway, she did like a deep dive on aesthetics and how to tell your natural like soul essence aesthetic or something through your Venusian placement as well as your rising sign in sidereal astrology. Anyway, I just watched that, and the reason why I'm even bringing this up, I'm not someone who like is a live, ride, or die by like these divination tools exactly, but sometimes, like I said, they really will help bring us keys, you know, like an auric key code. I feel like whenever I say that, it sounds AURIC, auric key code, perhaps into something that is trying to come through us. And there does feel like a lot of people, especially if you're drawn to this, who have been doing this internal glow up, if you will, internal just releases. I just released something, actually, I believe I called it like layers, purging, ripple effect, something like that. So yeah, if like you're someone who's really attuned to that whole death rebirth cycle, it's funny, today actually, the last few days, like I said, I haven't really recorded. I've been really just like needing to simplify even more, and I feel like I've simplified a lot in my life, and just these last few days it's been very like it was like I couldn't focus on anything except like what was right in front of me. Like even the like wanting to record, I was like, I knew I had so many things coming through, but I was like, nope, I just need to like take a shower and take walks. And I created a tincture that I haven't made in a while, and I was so excited about it because I didn't put any pressure on it. I just like felt it and did it. So yeah, there's something about that, like, and when I asked, like, I tuned in and I was like, what is going on? And I was shown like when someone you know, you know, you go through your metaphorical death and then a rebirth. And then when someone like has a baby, I've been saying like a lot. When someone has a baby, after the baby is born, you know, if you work, you go on maternity leave. Like there's time after this birth to just nourish and heal and reprieve, etc. And so that's what I was being shown. It's like this period of, you know, paternity or maternity leave from from your energetic rebirth, if you will. So yeah, if you found this, you're probably, as things are not linear, you know, in some sort of mishmash of like a death rebirth cycle that has just sort of, I don't know if you hear the ambulance in the background. You may be seeing 911 a lot or like hearing ambulances. Treasure, the word treasure has been coming up so much lately. So when I heard earlier something's about to pay off, yeah, so if things feel like all of a sudden they came to like a halt or a stop, I know that came up for me. You know, they say that phrase when one door closes, another one opens. It's like something, yeah, now I'm seeing the Seven of Pentacles in tarot. It's like something that you've been, that phrase, reap and you shall sow. Why can I not say that? Reap and you shall sow. Something like that. It's like something is about to pay off, but there's this like, this very temporary pause. You know, now I'm seeing like the Hangman in tarot. So you may be called, like I said, just to simplify. It will be a different amount of time for everyone. And I'm not saying like you need to like shut out the world and not do anything, but there just might be like, oh my God, this is so funny. Okay, there was a dog I was with the other day. My friend was watching him. He's very cute. I love this dog. I've watched him myself. And he is this fluffy little white Pomeranian. And he like, we took him with us where we were going. And he was so excited. Like she was holding him in the air. And his little legs were just running. Like no matter what he was doing, he just wanted to move. And like usually he's on the couch, like just chill. But like whatever we were doing, he was just so excited. And like everywhere we took him, like he was just like loving life, like just so excited. And his legs, whether he was in the air or on the ground, just wouldn't stop moving. So you might be feeling that, like you're running, but you're not getting anywhere. Yeah. So maybe someone here just needs to like ground in. And I know that I've been going through this myself, so I understand. And it's like, because I'll hear a lot of people like on YouTube talk about different energy and collective energy, which is obviously something I also do. And I kept hearing like, yeah, you need to take action from certain people. But I was like, it can get a little like muddied. There's a very loud train. Yeah, it can get a little muddied. So always please just trust yourself and, you know, close your eyes, open your eyes, you know, go within, go without, do what it is that your own process. And if you're someone who is just learning that, or, you know, is looking for some tips, feel free to like ask a question and I can do my best to answer. But yeah, so it does feel like, again, from when you find this audio and you are listening to this point, there will be a takeoff. Like that train just like came in so loudly after I was talking about feeling like you want to just like run, but like things feel like they're kind of halted. Yeah, there's just some redirection and I heard repurposing. Interesting. Right, so back to the Hangman, and I saw 212. I believe the Hangman is 12 in the tarot, if I'm not mistaken. And two of Pentacles, balancing, something in the material world needs to be balanced. Yeah, so there could just be like this pause to regain strength and really just like pamper yourself if you can. And listen, I am not suggesting like you need lots of money to do this, like finding those simple, that's what I was talking about, like simplifying those simple things in life that can, I mean, if you have the means, then please, you know, that too. But this is also a call to like, I think I just walked into a web. Yes, I did. Thank you. this web is like not leaving my hand, so I'm just gonna leave it there for a second. I'm hearing the song Price Tag now from, who sings that song? Jessie J, maybe? Yeah, I think there's this thing, perhaps like, I'm not saying that you are experiencing this, but this may be something that you have experienced or that you know people that are experiencing. It could vary for each one of you, like I always say, but the Price Tag song. Yeah, so there's something about, full transparency, I am in a very interesting place in my life financially right now. And, yeah, I guess I'm in that era of my life where I'm doing what I love, but the financial aspect hasn't quite kicked in. And I used to have a pretty stable income in my previous career. So I really jumped into this with, what I'm doing now. And I don't regret it. I love it. But what I'm trying to say is I've gotten very resourceful in terms of how to pamper myself and honestly not feeling guilty. Like if I don't have, steady money coming in, and a lot of people are like, well, how can you be so calm? Or how can you go and just go to the park and take off your shoes and relax? Like, how can you do these things? And like, it has been a learning curve for sure. I don't know why this is coming up right now, but it is. So I'm just going to talk about it. And yeah, there's something about that. Like, and again, it doesn't matter how much money is in your bank. I don't, if you're a millionaire or if you are $30,000 in debt or whatever your situation is, like, and sometimes when you have a lot of money or a lot of responsibilities, it's like, how could I enjoy myself? Because, it's like the world's going to stop spinning if I go and, do something that doesn't make me more money. So it really, I'm seeing it doesn't really matter which side of the coin you're on or if you're somewhere in the middle. Like, this is a universal message for someone to hear that, you deserve to allow homeostasis. Like, when our nervous system and we're burning on adrenaline and cortisol so much, it's funny, my friend literally just texted me, I'm in a loop. I don't even know what she's talking about, but that just applies. I looked out and saw that, and I also saw the number 22. So yeah, you can feel like perhaps you are in a loop, or you go on these loops and you just go from burnout to, or maybe you get a little bit of charge in your body and then boom, you're back to burnout. This will be for everyone, but, or like I said, this could be something that you have been working on yourself for, I'm hearing years for some of you. And so just know that there's about to be a breakthrough in that. I feel like there's, or maybe there just was, or like I said, if it's something that you're thinking about stepping into to help others with, there's just something there about, I just keep hearing homeostasis, 0 point balance. And of course, balance can have many different meanings. And that's why I think this is so exciting, the more we get into these subtleties, because the balance of, my balance may look different than your balance, but we can still have these blueprints of laying out that map in terms of following your own intuitive knowing, balance with other aspects of ourselves, of course. And just nature and its cycles, that's been coming up a lot lately. It can be a little bit overwhelming sometimes, because just when you think you have a balance down, the season changes, and then, your needs might change. And that can be metaphorical and literal. But for me, it helps take off the pressure of needing to know, because if you are someone who is working on just tuning into your own inner cycles, it's the more you can simplify into that, the less you need to know so far in advance that you just become intuitively attuned to your needs, and it becomes a little bit easier, each cycle. And when I say easier, I just mean it takes some of the process and guesswork out. It's someone here is they're really, I heard perfecting your process. I don't love the word perfecting because it implies, being perfect. What I just more mean is, like I was talking about trust in the beginning, there's something about really trusting yourself. So when I was talking about the Venus and Pisces and Venus rising in sidereal, there's something about, again, this internal glow up that's starting to show externally. And so you may be feeling called to like change your hair or switch up your aesthetic. Just something about the way you present yourself internally that you've been cultivating is going to start showing itself externally. And for some of you, it may just be that, and you don't really need to do anything aesthetically or externally. But a very few of you, I might hear like, I'm hearing that you just might need that like permission, that just because you want to experience like a more elevated aesthetic as a form of expression, like that is 100% encouraged, I'm hearing. Yeah, anyway, so the Venus and rising sign in sidereal allegedly helps you to sort of understand your own internal essence from those archetypes to create your aesthetic. Yeah, it was just like, it seemed like something like lighthearted and fun. I feel like there's always such a heavy emphasis on like patterns and releasing, and it can get very like heavy. So this just felt like a really fun way to, like, I'm seeing someone put like a Christmas tree topper on top of a tree, or like the icing on top of a cake, you know, that kind of thing. And the street lights that I'm looking into, I'm seeing these like pastel like rainbows coming from the light, and these orbs are like popping in. Hold on, I'm just tuning into it to see if there's anything. I'm hearing another song. I can't remember who sings the song, but ooh, child, things are gonna get easier. I don't know, I just heard that for someone. Whew. I just started to like really feel a little sweaty, and I'm not walking very fast. Yeah, so maybe someone here just needs to like break a few good sweats too, like sitting in a sauna, or if you're somewhere in the heat, just like letting yourself get like sweaty, running in place. I don't know, it doesn't have to be anything drastic, or maybe you are someone who who is already doing that. Yeah, like I'm seeing someone like skin glowing. Yeah, so sweat may be helping with that. Like if you're feeling called like to just like sweat more, like if you feel like you need to break a sweat, there may be something about like it's helping your skin to detoxify. So you may be someone who's going through like remineralization, or like just paying more attention to your diet or what you put in your body. And I know those rabbit holes, I was just talking to my friend about this, can get a little overwhelming. So yeah, I'm hearing in my head another song, Jordan Sparks, One Step at a Time, There's No Need to Rush. My left temple, I've been getting these like, my temples are like pulsating, and like really intense movement in the temple area. So there could be this movement going on, and like a lot of ear pressure shifting. So there could be, I feel like this has come up quite a few times in the last few months. This feels like a pretty big one, like illusions that are coming sort of like front and center. And there's a lot of like movement in the pineal area. Yeah, they call the temples the gateways, I believe, the gateways. So there's something about, yeah, like I feel like I'm like really needing to like like push out air of my body, like almost forcefully. So perhaps some chanting or kundalini breath of fire breathing. If you have your moon cycle and you're a woman, they recommend not to do the breath of fire just in case. But yeah, just like anything to like drop those layers that are just still kind of like circulating in the field. Also, if you're someone who has been, I was just reminded of the web, I'll get to that. If you're someone who has been already working with your pineal or your third eye, whatever you want to call it, for a while, of course, just like anything, there's layers to that as well. So you may be, as you're shedding density, let's say you're someone who always like tunes in and imagines, light or whatever you connect to cleanse and clear your energy field. Maybe you always picture it coming down through the top of your head. And now you're being called to like circulate, like vertically, horizontally, circulate from the front of the head to the back of the head, around the head, both ways, up, down. I'm seeing like a neutron, like when they show an atom or a neutron, and it's like there's all these different spins around. You can like Google that if you don't really know the image. So it's like imagining yourself opening from and receiving, giving and receiving through those different axes. Yeah, the energy just calmed down as I was saying that. And this web, I found this little white spider the other day. It was so tiny. And I found a white feather today. It was like white and a little bit silver. So there's something about feathers. I've been finding so many feathers, white spiders. There's something about the color white, which I always connect to purification. So, let's see, white owls have been coming through very heavily. So you can like look up any of these animal totems if they call to you. You might start seeing them, or maybe you already are. Yeah, I'm seeing like a snowy mountain. So someone here may be feeling called to visit a mountain, or maybe you already have. Or just to visualize one. I'm seeing Mount Shasta and connecting with, this came through someone else's channel today actually, but like, it's coming through again. And I was already sort of pulling this through anyway, and I just wasn't recording it. So I think it was just like a confirmation, but the, what we call like the inner earth frequency, or the inner earth beings. Of course, you can take that with your own energy field as well. And tuning in, my ears just pressure shifted again. Oh, and I'm just walking by this black cat. I didn't even notice until right now. There's these two orbs surrounding this cat. They're both violet, like a pink violet. And lightning just went off as soon as I said that. So I just heard Merkaba and mystery. Oh, I scared the cat. I'm sorry. I also just heard in my head 6 year. I don't know what that means. Maybe that's for someone. So you may yourself be feeling like you are connecting to some sort of council. And I think this came through another reading. It may be, a council in like a committee, maybe asked to speak in some sort of, or join some sort of council. It could be, like I said, in this realm. Or if you're someone who feels a little bit more attuned to the ethers, you may be feeling like you're connecting with a council etherically. And I know there's like a lot of distorted information right now that can come through some of these collective council readings, especially like those AI ones. I was hearing someone else say that, and I was like, yeah, that really hit home for me. I'm not saying that all of them are, but yeah, there's just an automatic light just went on as I said this. I was going to say there's just a heads up to really just trust your own discernment. And yeah, I'm hearing like if you connect in with like a being of some sort that's not on this plane, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And of course, I don't like to make anything like an absolute rule. That's just not the way that I function, I feel like, because you never know. But I want to say that if you feel like there's something connecting with you, like urging you to do something, like, and pressuring you, like, this has to be done now type of thing, like there's, or go do something that just, it feels like not right. And you're like, why am I being guided to do this? I wasn't planning on talking about this today, but yeah, there's, like in anthroposophy, they call it, I believe, the 8th sphere. Like we go through these different realms, that's why like as within, so without, I think applies here, because when we tune in internally, and this is not to scare anyone, it's just, you can just look at it all as different forms of energy with different agendas, and you get to tune in and use your discernment to see how you navigate through. Because, spiritually bypassing some of these experiences isn't the answer either. Like sometimes we need to go through this or sit with it or understand it before we can just, call it negative and banish it away. Like it may come back because there may be something there for you to learn or to look at. Anyway, so I just wanted to address that. And if this is something that interests you, like please comment or reach out to me and I can like go into more detail. But this just wanted to be mentioned. And yeah, perhaps in the extended on overflow on Patreon, I just saw another flash of lightning. Maybe I'll go into that a little bit more deeply. But I'm seeing the white spider again in my mind's eye, or just, it's coming up. And I just released a burp. Another one, excuse me, hold on. All of a sudden, I feel like all these things are coming out of my body. So yeah, you may be going through a period of releasing something. And I know that there can be an emphasis on purification sometimes to the point of like neuroses. And that is something that I have kind of experienced at some point in my life with like food and different things, different periods of time. So yeah, just know if that's coming up for you. It's kind of like, I'm hearing checks and balances. It's like seeing yourself and feeling yourself as, your purest form, and really get honest and clear of what that means for you. And then take those steps as you're guided. So yeah, remineralization keeps coming up. So let's say you're just feeling like a little bit depleted, and no matter what you do, like you've been eating clean, you've been doing all the things, and the next step may be to look into remineralization, slowly. Or if you're someone who's been engaging in a lot of like dating or going out and putting your sacral chakra out there so much, you may need like a purification of that. And that is not to say I believe in, free, like I don't think there's just one path for everyone in terms of what purity means. We're all here with different Akash like signatures and experiences and things to, again, experience or clear or add in, etc. So yeah, it's just really about tuning into your own self and seeing what you feel like at the most needs that purification process. Like for me, I was doing a lot of energetic work for a while, and I was, as they say, like in my cave hermiting, and I feel like I was really being called then. When I was being called out of this cave, I was probably in there a little too long, if I'm being honest. Although on a higher level, of course, that doesn't really matter. Everything's, they say, perfect in all of its time. But as I was being called out, I felt like I really needed to like, just like doing simple things like going to a cafe and like interacting with people, or like going to a park. And like lately I've just been like laying on my back and doing a few ab exercises. Nothing crazy at all. Even if it's just like one exercise for a minute, like just getting myself taking these walks and sweating, like whatever it is. So yeah, I think that just wanted to come through as well. Oh, the colors silver and dusty rose, or like dusty pink. I don't know, that frequency. Oh, and as I said, that more lightning struck was really coming through. Like that for me, it's very like Venusian, Piscean aesthetic. So if you want to like look that up, if you're not familiar, there might be like that sort of, just looking at photos or having something around you that feels a little bit maybe like luxurious. And again, if it's something that you can't have physically at the moment, like just setting that intention to receive it in that time. And again, looking at photos or, envisioning it. For some of you, you may actually have more than you think you do. Like if you go through some of your stuff, maybe there's a call to like purge out some of your junk drawers, I'm hearing. And if you're someone who's more minimalistic like me and you don't really have, you're like, I don't really have a lot of things. There might just be like a switch up you can do. Like maybe there's a shirt that you have and you've worn it so much you're like sick of it, and maybe you can like repurpose that shirt into something else, or like there's something about, again, repurposing and rearranging here. Tuning in if you would like some liquid light to connect to. Yeah, I really keep seeing the dusty rose and silver, some like pastels, just this like very soothing, whatever luxurious means to you, of course. Like textures like velvet and like the silk, feeling like a rose. You know how like roses, the petals can be like I just feel like they're like, I'm pretending they're between my fingertips, and it's like that, yeah, like silky, velvety feeling. And you can utilize that in your meditation practice or visualization practices too, if you're not already, like working with textures and not just maybe like one stream of light, but imagining what the texture would feel like, and tuning to certain like I said, axes and sacred geometric shapes. Scrying may be coming up for someone here, and if you don't know what that is and you're interested and you're like, oh, that sounds exciting, yeah, comment and let me know, and I can do like a whole thing on scrying. There's also plenty of information, but with scrying, if you've never done it before, I would definitely like take it slow and yeah, just not needing to rush into that either. But if you're someone who's like already somewhat familiar with scrying and you'd like to know more also, yeah, that's something I love to talk about, so lets me know. All right, well, I think I'm going to close out here. Thank you so much for listening. And like I said, I think I'll be doing an overflow on Patreon that will probably go more deeply into maybe like some personal, like metaphysical experiences, and I'm hearing like a deeper dive through I'm hearing the gateway, the threshold gateway of the temples. So I'm not 100% sure what that means in this moment, but we shall see. All right, well, thank you.